lost my job. My kids are failing at school. I hurt all the time. My blood pressure's too high. The doctors are telling me keep coming back every month to get another prescription. In fact, do you mind if I... I was thinking about how many of us feel those moments in our life where that burden feels so heavy that we don't know what to do with it. If you feel that way, I can promise you, especially based on how I now feel, I can promise you this, that there is a way out of it. Because I know that no matter how hard it gets, how bad it feels, even for me, someone who wanted to leave, who didn't want to come back because it hurt so bad, I took my CBX4, well, here I am. And I learned once again and was reinforced in my belief, as I've explained to you, that we don't have to just live with bad circumstances, whatever those circumstances are. Now, of course, most of us aren't going to have to live every day, hopefully, God forbid, with such travesties. But individually, every day we have those challenges that we feel like, I feel fat. I feel old. It hurts too much. I don't want to have to go back to the doctor again every single month. We don't have to live that way. Of course, we've been taught here in the United States, even in the world, that suck it up. It's in your mind. Or, well, just suck it up. Deal with it. You're stronger than that. We've all heard that. But the reality is this, my friends, that we now here know in TruIQ that whatever you're facing, even if it's so hard, like losing your surrogate mama, you can overcome it. And I already feel better now just having taken my CBX4 12 minutes ago. You can overcome it. But more importantly, what about your chronic pain and your anxiety? I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but think about this. Have you ever had a morning when you wake up and you say, it's because we don't have to accept the reality, they call it the reality, of our lives. So let me share with you this. Go on, buddy. Sorry. Why is that not working? It's going the wrong way. No, I must have. Is someone? I'm sorry about this, friends.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, right arrow, right arrow. One more. I'm going to throw this darn thing away. It's always giving me too much grief. Keep going, please, Mr. Preston. One more time. Right there. Okay, so let's stop there. So we've been talking about sleep. Don't raise your hand, but if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you, do you know someone who wants to go to sleep at a certain time and then is unable to, for some reason, fall asleep at that time, and then doesn't sleep well throughout the night, so that in the morning they feel unrefreshed? If you've ever heard of such a thing, or if you know someone who's suffered from such a thing, then we have the solution. Please, in fact, just go ahead and fill the screen with all 6 of those. And have a look at the rest of these. You see, when we created CBX4, it was about not just helping us with our emotions and helping us fix those issues that most of us feel every day, but we are very specifically focused on these things. Immunity. May I see by the raise of hands who here today knows someone who is concerned about their immune systems? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about half of us. Okay. Well, the other half who is not worried about your immune system, listen up. Because you should be. The other half of us who are worried about our immune systems understand that there is something in that system that we need to pay attention to. Depression, pain, anxiety. Now, as members, since most of us here are members of TruIQ, I want to make sure this is very clear for all of us. Depression, anxiety, and pain are what they call the nasty three. The nasty three, which means that if you have depression or anxiety or pain, you're likely to develop the other two. If you have pain, then you're likely to develop anxiety, which will turn into depression. And if you have depression, you are likely to develop anxiety, which will manifest itself as pain, chronic pain. Does anybody understand that? Have you heard about such things? So we're all on the same page there. So next slide, please. There are other things, though, that we are really proud to share with you about TruIQ's CBX4 and the other products we have, but specifically CBX4, because these are the things, these are the issues primarily right here and here that gave me my life back. You as members already have heard me tell you before that after my splenectomy, when they removed my immune system, after my spine reconstruction surgery, after I was diagnosed with autism, and after my diagnosis of melanoma, this was the one that bothered me the most, the autism. Because I felt in my heart that pain, well, any man can deal with pain, right? Yeah, so you had to screw 2.5 kilograms of steel or what do they call it, titanium to my spine. Any man can deal with that. But the rest, the immune system issue, but most importantly, it was the autism that bothered me most. Because it finally helped me see and understand that those emotions I felt that didn't make any sense to me before, now I feel like I can explain to people, okay, yeah, they make sense to you, but not to me, but there's a way by which I can maybe bridge that gap between what I don't understand and what others do understand, and maybe understand why I hurt so much and why my immune system is the way it was. And CBX4, by addressing these 6 things and those 6 that we saw just earlier, kind of helped me in my mind bring it all into one simple, small package that said, whatever I'm suffering from, whatever my health and emotional, physiological issues are, if I know the name or if I can pronounce the name or not, I know there's one solution for it. Next slide, please. And it's what I'd like to share with you here. Now, we should probably go back, though, and discuss this, though. Maybe we can just hover on this slide really quickly, and that is this. So, you know, of course, as you all know, without an immune system, because I have no immune system, the doctors told me that I was supposed to have inoculations and shots and all those other things that I've already explained. But when I learned that these natural medicines called cannabinoids, you don't have to remember the name, but these natural cannabinoids, these medicines, do this. This article was published at the National Institute of Health, the United States National Institute of Health Library. They call it the NIM, so the National Institute of Medicine Library. And what you see is this. What we're trying to demonstrate is this. When you have something enter your body, specifically a virus, it's ugly, it's nasty. Have you ever seen a virus under a microscope? Ugh. Well, this is the nice version, we'll call it that. So, but when a virus, something your body does not want or need, something invasive, it looks a lot like this. And the question for most of us is, what do I do about it? I've got this invasion, I have this virus or some kind of bacterial, some infection. What's my body going to do? The reason the viral and immunological benefits of CBX4 are so relative for us is CBX4 is represented by these here. You see that when you have these CBX4s, I'll explain those in a minute, these different natural medicine compounds, they will swarm in your bloodstream, like they're doing now in my bloodstream, to attack that invasion. But there are only a couple of ways, next slide, to attack those invasions. How do you attack them? Well, up until now, most of us thought there were two ways. We can go to the pharmacy and we can ask the pharmacist, what pill can you give me? Or we look for a natural solution. Now, may I ask this question? Who here amongst us has seen that huge migration away from the old way of pharmaceutical synthetics toward natural solutions? Has anybody seen that here?
Yeah.
A couple of us?
Yeah.
You said over the last couple of years. It is kind of recent, isn't it? It does feel that way. And especially most of us, as we consider our youth, we think, well, yeah, back then you had to go to a pharmacist, but today it's different. Today, we see more and more and more people looking for a natural, safe, and guaranteed effective solution to whatever we feel, especially in today's society, right? I mean, if 30 years ago, when you banged your knee, you just sucked it up. But today, when you bang your knee, mom and dad are saying, oh, I can help you deal with that pain. What are they going to do? Those people, more and more, are driving this trend away from the pharmacy, and they're looking for a natural solution. And in truth, if any of us right now were to bring up our phones and type into a URL search engine, natural health solutions for, and then fill in the blank, you would find millions of hits. That's because millions of people in the United States alone are looking for the new way. Next slide, please. And the new way is extracting with new medical procedures all of the essence from nature and putting it into a bottle. That's been very hard to do without a laboratory and without being an RX company. It used to take billions of dollars to isolate this chemistry that now TruIQ has access to. Now, before I get into these details about what CBX4 is and what Mr. Preston already leveraged and told you about, please make sure this is clear. I'm being quiet for a reason. I want you to focus on this. A lot of people think that when we talk about TruIQ, it's somehow from marijuana. No. Everything here in TruIQ is made from the natural CBX4 hemp that we grow in Utah organically and sustainably, right here in the United States. But it's hemp, it's not marijuana. Now there are key differences. Does anyone here know what marijuana looks like or feels like? Well, I guess I shouldn't ask you to raise your hand. Never mind.
Everybody.
Never mind. I don't want to know. What I do want to know is though, by a raise of hand, please raise your hand if you have heard that there is a difference between hemp and marijuana.
There is a difference.
Did you know there's a difference? Hemp, marijuana, there's a difference? You do know. Miss, did you know? Brother? Did you know there's a difference between hemp and marijuana?
I don't know what
Then I will explain it to you. Do you know the difference?
The content of THC.
Not all of us. Well, let's talk about the differences then, Mr. Preston.
Okay.
So there are key differences between these two plants. And the reason that TruIQ exists and the reason why we feel so good about ourselves is that there is a major difference between CBX4 and hemp. Next slide, please. So what is the difference? Well, let's stop there for a second. Can I turn the light on, please? Where's my goodie bag? I want to give away some free stuff. Where's my free gift box? Is that under your seat there?
Yeah, I'm protecting it.
Yeah, he hates us.
You're limited as to how much you can give out. You give away way too much stuff.
So let me ask you this question.
Sure, yeah.
I have here a bunch of free gifts, and I want to know from our guests. So raise your hand, please, if you are here for the first time.
Yes. Yes.
One. Raise your hand if you are here for the first time. 1, 2, 5. Okay. So to you, I would like to focus this question. There are two different kinds of plants, one of which TruIQ uses to make our product. Do you know what it's called? Raise your hand, please, and I'll call on you. There are two different kinds of plants, one of which TruIQ uses to make our products. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hemp. Now, there's a specific name for that hemp. Do you know what it was? There are 4 different letters. CBX4 hemp. I'm going to help you out. CBX4 hemp. But yes, hemp and marijuana are different. Exactly right. They are different. Let's give him a round of applause. Please give that again. Thank you, sir. What's your name? Roman.
May I keep it?
Roman. Spasiba, дорогой. Okay, thank you, Roman.
That's
Next.
the,
So,
CBX.
in fact, maybe Mr. Preston, you can
Yes.
tell me how much about CBX4 did we discuss and how much would you like to hear?
We talked about the different cannabinoids. We didn't talk though on what each cannabinoid did
Okay,
specifically.
very good. Then we'll stop right there.
Okay.
So who remembers what those 4 different cannabinoids are that Mr. Preston mentioned?
It's on the board. There's a cheat sheet.
They're right where?
It's
I know that.
Say it.
And what are they?
CBN, CBG, CBD, and CBC.
Can you say all 4 of those the full way?
You need
Not
Without.
the acronyms, but the full name.
I just took it off the screen.
I know what they do.
All right, so let's bring that back, and you have to read that.
Okay.
So, Mr. Preston, there you go. What are the 4 medicines, the 4 natural medicines that are grown from CBX4 hemp, not marijuana? Doctor, go ahead. What are they?
Cannabinol, no, cannabinol,
Cannabinol,
cannabinol, navigerol,
cannabidiol,
cannabidiol.
You really want me to give you a free product? Can't even pronounce it. Maybe anything else? All right, so let's do this. I'm going to pronounce it once, and then let's all read it together.
Okay, good.
Cannabinol,
Cannabinol,
cannabidiol, cannabinol, and cannabichromine. Now, let's see if Doc remembers how you said it. Doc Taylor.
Huh? The dial?
We call that one
Repeat all
cannabinol,
four,
but it's
please.
actually cannabidiol.
Huh? Cannabidiol, cannabichromine, cannabidiol, and cannabinol.
Yeah.
Close enough, right?
Hey, Doc, don't let him harass you. I've been at this 2 years and I still have a hard time.
Now I gotta memorize it.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Yes, you have to rememberize this, as my doctor would say, and my daughter would say, because we all know that CBD is popular, right? We've heard about it. So let me ask you this. Why are people buying expensive CBD when we now know that CBN, cannabinol, CBG, or CBG, cannabidiol, and CBC, cannabichromine, can also be available in one? Why would someone buy a lot of, or spend a lot of money on CBD when all the others are available? Why? Any idea? Sorry.
Because those people that buying only CBDs, they don't know that this product is already existing.
So
That's
maybe
why we are
ignorant, they
here.
simply don't know. So Ms.
They don't know it exists.
Well, most people just read the top line, they don't read everything else, so they're oblivious of it, and they go buy it, and they really don't know what they're buying.
So they want to read the header and that's it.
That's how people are.
Nice.
They
Really.
don't know how to-
Even those people who spend $139 on a tincture
The
for
more expensive
CBD.
it is, the better it is.
So the more expensive, the less I want to read the details.
It must be good.
Can you relate to that? Have you heard such a thing? Well, I agree with you entirely. And that's why TruIQ is coming into, and as an invasive company, as we call ourselves, a disruptive company. We want people to understand that if you're only buying CBD, if you know someone who is spending money on CBD alone, they're only getting 25 roughly % of the full potential benefit of the plants that can produce all 4 of these. It would kind of be sort of like someone going to a natural health store, walking up to the agent, the salesperson, and asking, I need a awesome, powerful macronutrient. What can you sell me? And if they said, I have this great vitamin C product for you, you'll love it. If you're looking for a macronutrient, a multivitamin, would you be happy if the representative said, well, here's a great vitamin C, or vitamin A, or vitamin D, or B12, right, B12. And we see it all the time, don't we? We see that single benefits, single ingredients are sold to us as cure-alls. But we all instinctively know the truth, and that is one ingredient is not going to solve all of our issues. It's certainly not going to positively impact all of our health systems. We now know that all 4 of these natural medicines, CBN, G, C, and D, are available in one single product called CBX4. Some of you might be wondering, can I prove that for myself? Is it real? Can I verify it for myself? I felt the same way for 2 decades as I traveled the globe looking for a health solution that would keep me alive past 40 years old. I found a few, but I did find that those ones that I believed in most, I could verify. I could see for myself. So here in TruIQ, we've decided to ensure that as a member-driven movement, every single member of TruIQ should be able to come to CBX4 farms. See it for yourself. Know, touch, feel, experience that CBX4 plants that make these benefits are grown in Utah, and you can come see it for yourself. Now, go ahead and burn through the next couple of slides. I want to show you that you can come see CBX4 farms for yourself. But I'm going to stop here really quickly. Just hang on there.
Okay.
Don't worry about the light. Next question. There are, this is for guests, there are 4 natural medicines in CBX4. All 4 of which address the health problems we talked about at the beginning. What are those 4 natural medicines? Who can tell me what those 4 cannabinoids are, those 4 natural medicines? Go ahead, Doc.
The CBD, CBC, CBG.
CBD? Say it loud.
CBD, CBC, CBG, and CBN.
And CBN, correct. And you remember that, you didn't have to read it.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you. Now, the next thing we want everybody to know, thank you, Doc, is that you can come see what CBC, CBD, CBG, CBN looks like when it's grown in the ground. You can come see for yourself. When and how? Well, Mr. Preston, one more time, there you go. I want all of you to know that you are invited to visit number 1 of 3 this year. Every year, we have 3 different plantation visits. Planting season, peak season, and harvest season. So planting season, peak season, and harvest season. The first of those is the planting season, and we want you to come see for yourself. If you want to drive and pay for your own hotel, pay for your own gas, we'd love to see you there. If you want us to pay your expenses, do this. So members of TruIQ, take a quick picture of this, and we'll come back to it. Can you see we want to pay for your trip? All right. Yes, please raise your hand. You don't mind? Thank you. So, I'm going to explain to you why by the end of this presentation that you'll want to do this. On the right side of the screen, you see the baby CBX4s that we keep in our temperature-controlled safes and are carefully cultivated until we plant them. And the rest of this is part of that cycle that you get to see and benefit from when you come to CBX4 farms. And you can just fill out that whole screen, Preston. This is a really fun circumstance and a really fun cycle that you get to see all the way from the baby CBX4 seeds up until we do the extraction, isolation, and production of CBX4. That is what awaits you. You get to see and experience for yourself what that looks like. But when you consider first that those baby CBX4s are only going into roughly 33 of 300 acres in pristine organic ground in Utah, are cared for individually, each plant by itself, all the way up through this process, whereat, that's not a washing machine, by the way. Whereat this medical mechanism both applies pressure and uses organic solutions to extract all those medicines that are in CBX4, and that further medical procedure isolates those and then separates them into all of their constituent parts. You can understand why coming to CBX4 Farms is really, truly an amazing experience. And it's not just about that too. We have a lot of fun. We have a barbecue. We let you walk through the entire plantation, and there's a lot else too to be part of. But if you want to verify for yourself, then just know we want you to come. You can skip through this.
Okay.
Go to the next one. I know all of our members here, you all know that this is what's happening in your bodies, right? What's happening in our bodies, as I think we all understand, is that when we have pain and stress, that affects our cellular structures. I think we all get that. But what many of us don't know is that that has further downstream repercussions. And some of those repercussions are, when we have pain and stress, very often it causes us to either eat poorly or we get sick. Both of which have negative influences on our bodies, which becomes, as you see there, ultimately this. That's a graphic representation of that nastiness that is in your body, floating through your bloodstream, looking to create problems because you have some number of these issues. So the question most people today are asking, like we discussed at the beginning, is how do I solve that? Is there a way for me to naturally reverse that process? Yes, I have pain, illness, anxiety, all those other things. Is there a way to maybe back from that and give myself the health that I had when I was a youngster? Yeah, there absolutely is. Just like CBX4 helped me 20 minutes ago overcome my severe anxiety about losing my surrogate mama. So judge for yourself, what do I look like now and how am I acting? It's only because I know of CBX4. So think about this. When CBX4 reverses that process, it starts at your DNA level. Those 4 natural medicines in CBX4, right? CBX4, they attack positively your DNA at the genomic level such that they give your body a whole sense of ease. Now that's the beginning. That whole body sense of ease and wellness triggers your cellular release of more dopamine and focus at the neurogenic level such that you can truly restore your health at the physiological level, which then will bring you ultimately back to where you started. If you have a health problem of any kind, even cancer, if you consider what I've been dealing with, if you have any sort of health issue whatsoever, then I want to tell you, I will promise you, I will guarantee you that CBX4 will reverse that process that's happening in your body and you will feel better. Guaranteed. Next slide, please. Why all 4 though? Especially, so think about this. If we brought someone in here who's been using CBD for a long time, especially those here in Las Vegas who are proud of their $300 CBD and that $199 CBD they bought off the internet that's premium, if we brought them into here, they would say, yeah, it does this. It does what we know CBD does. But then if we asked that same person, but what about those benefits? There would be silence. And if we asked them, well, what about these benefits? Does your CBD do that? Silence. And if we asked them what CBG does, they would be dumbfounded because, as you see, CBG has as the second checklist or second checkpoint, what? Who can read the second checker?
Stem cell of cannabinoids.
Stem cell of cannabinoid. That's where most CBD users say, what? What's a stem cell? And why are stem cells beneficial? And that's where you, as members of TruIQ, can step in and say, well, if you haven't heard about stem cells, then you need to know, because stem cells are the mother cell, and they trigger these other 3 cannabinoids collectively to become the solution in your bloodstream that you uniquely, based on your blood chemistry, are suffering from. Which is why when I took my CBX4, it gives me different benefits than it will for George. He and I, even though we take the same CBX4, we receive different health benefits because our blood chemistry is different. The only way that happens, Preston, is because all 4 of those are in one product to be used at one time. Therein lies the key. So you can hit that 4 times. There you go. So I would draw your attention to, you see how each one of those 4 cannabinoids, if they happen to be found in your bloodstream at the same time, they look for one another. If CBN is floating in your body, if you can afford $50,000 a kilo for it, if CBN is floating through your bloodstream, it's always looking for CBG. They have a unique affinity for one another. Now, if that CBN finds a CBG, they will always link up. And when those 2 link up, they produce benefits in your body, once again, unique to your physiological needs. But what's really cool is if there's CBN, and CBC and CBD, those 2 also do what you see here. They link up and become one, Mr. Preston, one super cannabinoid. A super cannabinoid. Can you repeat that with me, please? Super cannabinoid. That super cannabinoid, right there, stop. That super cannabinoid has all 4 of those natural medicines in one. That's what makes it a super cannabinoid. Each of these is a cannabinoid, but when the 4 come together and unite, they become a super cannabinoid. So next question. Who can tell me what the full description or names of each one of these 4 is?
You were like earlier?
From guest, please. Yeah, what are the full names of each one of these 4 natural medicines?
Oh, CBX4.
All of these are in CBX4, but what are each of their names? Who can tell me that?
Cannabichromine,
Raise your hand, please.
Oh.
Anyone else? Go ahead, Doc.
Cannabichromine, cannabigerol, cannabinol, and cannabidiol.
Let's do it one more time. I'm going to say it, then let's all repeat it together. And by the way, it's easier to remember if you follow the alphabet. C, D, G, N. C, D, G, N. So, cannabichromine, cannabidiol, cannabigerol, cannabinol. Cannabidiol, cannabichromine, cannabigerol, cannabinol. Now, who can repeat those back correctly? Yes, Richard.
Cannabinol, cannabigerol, cannabichromine, and cannabidiol.
Cannabidiol, correct. Next slide.
Can I bid on it?
So, I know you've all heard about CBX4 and what Mr. Preston was saying. So I would leave it on this. You all as members of TruIQ or even guests deserve to read the science for yourself. We know that you are sophisticated enough and intelligent enough on your own to verify whether or not this 4-in-1 complete medical blend is truly what we promise it is. If you, as members of TruIQ, you can enroll for free, access your back office, your free back office, your TruIQ account, and go to the scientific and medical references document that supports CBX4, each one of these blue lines is a URL. It's a clickable link that will take you to a third-party website, not written by us, a third-party website that will prove to you that the science of what I explained is only a small part of the benefits you will get from CBX4. Next slide, please. So there are 4 different ways, just hit that 4 more time. There are 4 different products that you can get CBX4 in. You see, those 4 natural medicines, that medical concentrate of those 4 cannabinoids is available as one singular whole. Remember all 4 of those together. That one super cannabinoid is available in 4 different products. What 4 are they? The sublingual, the lotion, the body mist, and the collagen 4, the super infused collagen 4. And of course, members of TruIQ, who can tell me what makes the super infused collagen 4 so amazing? Member of TruIQ, raise your hand. Tell us what makes this product so truly unique in the world.
4
Denise.
times the amount of collagen.
Yes. So 400 times the collagen. Do you remember what kind?
The CBX4.
The collagen.
Oh, the collagen.
What kind of collagen?
No molecular weight.
Yes, there's 400 times the collagen in there, but what kind? Do you remember, Dr. Teo?
Marine collagen.
Correct. And what kind of marine collagen?
From the ocean.
Low molecular weight. So yes, you both answered correctly. So here's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to share. Yes. So you already won, yes?
Yes.
All right.
So is it that.
This
But we're
is,
different.
no, you can answer also.
That's all right. We're just getting started. You see, the collagen 4 product is so amazing because CBX4 as the sublingual concentrate, that's going to course through your bloodstream immediately upon being absorbed under your tongue. That's what the sublingual means. It will absorb within 5 to 10 seconds. This guy right here, and those 4 natural cannabinoids, those 4 medicines, will start coursing through your veins. That's the sublingual. But some of us, especially those who have autistic children, ADD, ADHD, Asperger's, you know, some of us, we don't like the taste of certain things. We will take it transdermally. Transdermal means through your skin, transdermal. This CBX4 body lotion was specifically designed to drive those 4 natural cannabinoids, that super cannabinoid, through your bloodstream or through your skin into your bloodstream, under your tongue or through your skin, however you want it. Now there's a lighter spritz way called the body mist. Throughout the day, especially here in Vegas in the wintertime, our skin gets dry. We just want to give ourselves an extra boost throughout the day and get that extra super cannabinoid. That's it right there. But the super infused collagen 4, now that one deserves a little bit more of an explanation. How so? Who here uses collagen? May I ask why?
Well, I've heard that it helps plump up your skin and make you look younger.
Yes.
So collagen plumps your skin, makes you look younger. I saw some other hand, yes.
It's good for healthy joints and strong bones.
Healthy joints and strong bones. Thank you. And Deli, did you raise your hand?
Yes, I mix it with, silk smooth dough, but it's really good for the face, for the skin. And the lips, my lips is always dry.
So those of us who use collagen are using it because we're expecting a plumping of the skin, anti-aging benefit, maybe even joints, like Wilma said. Well, here's the really awesome news about super infused collagen 4. We put, and that's what the superscript 4 is for. There is 400% the daily recommended usage of low molecular weight, organically sustainable collagen. Why? Because that and that unique level of collagen and type of collagen is able to be delivered transdermally. This is the first product you will ever see and the only one to date that allows your bodies, your skin, to absorb that collagen directly, wherever you put it, into that muscular or skeletal structure where it's needed most. What that means is, let's say you have neck pain, and maybe your doctor said your joints are really running out in your neck. You can put CBX4 right on your neck with the collagen 4, and together they'll drive those collagens right into your neck. Or maybe you have knee pain, ankle, joint pain of any kind. That super infused collagen 4, you can apply directly on that area, and those cannabinoids and collagens together will penetrate your skin through your epidermis, dermis, through the subcutaneous level, down into your bloodstream and nervous system, even into the skeletal and semi-rigid tissues like your joints. That this is the only product that will do that. That's why we're so proud of it. Now, there are only 4, though, products that have the super cannabinoid, which is the CBC, CBD, CBG, CBN. All of those together in high levels. CBX4 is the only one that is that super cannabinoid, and you can find them in all 4 of those products. Next slide, please. So, quick question, and let's give some stuff away here.
Told you.
What should we give away
Made it
next?
this time.
What should we give away next?
CBX4 oil.
A CBX4.
CBX4 hemp oil.
All right. So this is a CBX4 oil to be given away.
Come on, Sally.
$110.
I want it.
Retail value is $129, but if you become a distributor, it's only $90.
So $129, but only $90 wholesale. Who can tell me of our guests
Yes,
Oh.
how many products from TruIQ have
Come
the
on, guess.
CBX4 super cannabinoid in it?
Guess.
How
Yes.
many products?
Yes.
And what are they?
CBD.
So you want to answer?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's a 2-part question. How many products?
4.
4, correct. Do you remember what they are?
CBD and CBDG.
No, those are the cannabinoids. I'm asking what 4 products have.
Amy
Collagen.
Amy, go ahead.
Emmy.
Amy, let's back up. How many products super cannabinoids?
You removed it.
What are they?
Right, and then I can ask you a question.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, there's 4. You want the full name or do you
I'm not talking about the cannabinoids, I'm asking the products. What are the 4 products that have the super cannabinoid in it? Listen up, guys. So what are they?
Body lotion, the sublingual, the body mist, and the collagen.
You've earned yourself a question,
Thank you.
and I'll give you the answer. What is your
Okay,
question?
If you go back to that last slide.
You back up?
Thank you.
This one?
Yeah, is the content of the 4
cannabinoids as powerful in the collagen? Is it the same amount?
No. So this, the sublingual concentrate that I gave you, that's the most concentrated form of CBX4 we have. There are about 1,500, anywhere between 1,350 and 1,500 cannabinoids in there, milligrams.
No.
The body lotion and the body mist and the superinfused collagen 4 have anywhere from 250 to 300.
Okay, next question. Have you tested?
You're cheating, you're getting a
I
second
know,
question.
when it goes through the digestive system, typically you can lose a large percentage, I won't say how much, of actually having effectiveness.
About 70% in some cases.
Yep.
Correct.
So they're actually very comparable then, in terms of the impact on body weight.
If you were just to drink CBX4, but as I think all of you saw, in fact, I'll do it again, we all know how to use CBX4, yes? So let me show you. And there's a reason for this, why the sublingual benefit of CBX4 is so powerful, because when we fill up that vial, you saw me squeeze the bowl, I fill that vial, that is one full dose of CBX4.
Give you
5
that-
seconds.
5 seconds.
Okay, so now after those 5 seconds, I've not swallowed yet, by the way. That sublingual delivery is allowing those cannabinoids to penetrate my sublingual tissues and go directly into my bloodstream. So if I were to swallow it, yes, in fact, those lipid structures around those cannabinoids, they are compromised by the GI tract substances, we'll call them that. I go to the
Hydrochloric acid.
Gastric acid.
But when it goes into your stomach, yes, the GI tract will often destroy those lipid structures in which those cannabinoids are encapsulated. And of course, as you know, those cannabinoids have to reach your lower intestine to be absorbed. And that's a long way to go, especially given the harshness of the upper GI tract. So that's why we use the lowest molecular weight of these 4 cannabinoids, well, frankly, the organic version of these cannabinoids that are available to us, so that sublingually they absorb right away.
Okay.
Now, for that portion, though, that does get swallowed, then yes, many of those will survive the GI tract, but most of them won't. You're looking at maybe a 70, 30, 40, 60 sort of a transition, which is why you want to leave it under your tongue.
Great.
But that's a very good point, because transdermally, as we know, let's say you use the body mist, and you spritz some of the body mist on your, especially your thin skin, like under your arms, inside your thighs, your neck area. We know that that is going to absorb completely. All 250 milligrams of that will be absorbed. So it is very effective, and you can know that those ratios are almost 100%.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Next, yes, sir.
I have a question on the CBX4. My concern is drug testing. Would that affect anything during time of uses?
It depends on who's testing for what. And I know that's a nebulous statement, so let me give you some more details there. So if your doctor or if whoever is giving you the drug test is looking for cannabinoids, anything in the cannabis family, then this could cause you to fail a drug test. But if they're looking for the one cannabinoid that is not meant to be used, which is what? THC. If you take a THC specific test, then you're okay. Which is why we recommend to anyone who uses CBX4, if you are subjected to regular drug tests, then let your boss know that you are using a natural, organic, legal hemp product, not marijuana product. And usually they're pretty understanding, especially in the first responder military community. We found that to be very effective. Next question. No more questions? Okay, next, let's go to the next slide. Well, in fact, I think we've kind of already overcome the questions about CBX4, yes? So now let's talk about this bad boy here. Micro. Does anyone here know someone who would like to trim down or tone up? You don't have to raise your hand, but if you know someone like that, then Preston, let's show them why Micro is so amazing. When we were studying the publications from the Mayo Clinic, which is one of the most prestigious medical universities and institutions here in the United States, they showed us that these 4 reasons, or causes, they call them, are driving up an average of 8 pounds of weight gain for most Americans. This is only in America. I'm not sure what's happening outside the US yet.
Same thing.
I haven't done that research. But here just in the United States, we found that during the pandemic, the average weight gain is 8 pounds. And most of those people gained it because of what you see here or derivatives thereof. Next. So the question all of those people are asking is, what do I do about it? How can I get rid of that? I think most of us understand that if we starve ourselves, if we stop eating, if we started running marathons, we would probably start to lose weight. But the reality also is most of us don't want to do any of that. We just want to get it off the easy way. So what's the easy way? Well, the easy way is to take advantage of what up until now has been exclusively available to the bodybuilding and fitness community until today. So have you ever, in fact, for our guests, I'd like to ask you, if you're here for the first time, have you ever seen any of those bodybuilding competitions or those fitness competitions where those unbelievably ripped, beautiful people come up on the stage and they rip off their clothes and they start doing this kind of stuff, and you say, wow, is that a human or a robot? Is that a real person? And if you look into it just a little bit, you will see that those very same men and women consume, the men in any case, up to 12,000 calories a day. What would happen to you if you ate 12,000 calories a day? Well, here's the really interesting part, is as we got into those details from the fitness community, we learned that they were able to consume that many calories. And even though they only worked out about 4 hours to 5 hours a day, which of course for us is a lot, but for them not much, they were still able to keep the fat off. Does anyone here know someone who always goes to the gym, always exercises, has a decent diet, and still has to go like this, right? Maybe still doesn't fit into their clothes? I've known quite a number of people like that who are very frustrated because they do their best. They manage their diet. They even go to the gym, they exercise, and it still doesn't come off. Or worse, they're really getting into it, they're really doing it right, they're trying their best, and they still don't have the same figure as those fitness professionals. So why? That was the question we asked. Why? How is that possible? What are they doing that most other of us aren't doing? Micro. There are multiple ingredients in micro, 2 of which are really of note. Dynamine and teocrine. Those 2 ingredients specifically have only been available from a pharmaceutical company in the United States as an organic source. 1, which is why the fitness professionals have spent thousands of dollars every month to use it. It's been the secret, but no longer. Because now we've put both of those ingredients in encapsulated form without a prescription over the counter from TruIQ directly that will help your body trim down and tone up even while you sleep. If you happen to know someone who wants to trim down or tone up but doesn't want to change their lifestyle, this is for them. In fact, when Dr. Carroll conducted our clinical trial about micro, what he discovered was in both of the study groups is that the one group who was directed, they were told, do not change anything in your lifestyle. Only take 2 capsules of CBX4 a day, anytime you want. That group lost on average 6 pounds in 60 days. The other group, though, who was allowed to start taking the stairs instead of the elevator, that group who was allowed to stop eating candy bars and stop cutting out some of those simple carbohydrates, that group lost a lot more weight, up to 37 pounds. The reality is that micro does all of those things you see on the screen. If you know someone, like I said, who's looking to trim down and tone up 24/7, this is the solution. However, there's something else we also need to understand, given the reality, the fact that most of us know someone who is diabetic and has hormone issues. If you know someone who is type 2 diabetic, then you also know that they're struggling with these issues: blood sugar and hormones, specifically glucagon and insulin. May I see by the raise of hands, who knows someone who is diabetic, type 2?
I know someone.
Okay. So then you need to know that what they are suffering from, what's causing their diabetes, is their body's inability to manage insulin and glucagon and blood sugar levels. So naturally, you would come to the conclusion that anything that can help manage blood sugar, insulin, and glucagon levels, you're starting to reverse those very same effects that precipitate type 2 in the first place. That's another powerful benefit of micro. So whether or not you want to trim down or tone up, micro is also a good solution if you are type 2. Yes,
May I ask 2 more questions, or I?
by all means, go ahead.
Okay. So if someone has high blood pressure, any caveats against that?
It depends on if they're taking blood pressure medicine. If they're not taking blood pressure medicine, then CBX4 and micro will collectively bring that down. So naturally, when we start taking CBX4, we're going to see our blood pressure start to go down because it works as a vasodilator. And also when we take micro, certain of those ingredients are also vasodilating. However, the evodimine, the teocrine, and the dynamine, they can also elevate heart function. And as the heart beats more and becomes more active, sometimes it can appear as higher blood pressure. So that's why I asked if someone is taking blood pressure medicine to artificially dilate those vessels, then micro and CBX4 should be taken in a different way than those people who are not taking blood pressure medicine.
Okay, I have addendum questions. One is blood thinner. That have any impact? Or do you think there would be any contraindication?
No contraindications at all with blood thinners. No.
Would you recommend then a timing with the micro and the sublingual?
With the CBX4 sublingual, no, the timing does not matter. With micro, on the other hand, yes, timing does matter. Because micro is stimulating the whole body's metabolism, you don't want to take it within 6 hours of going to sleep.
Okay. But before or after meals?
So what I recommend is take 1 capsule in the morning and then a 2nd capsule midday.
Before or after meal?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. And then my 3rd question is,
However, I will say, sorry to
that's
interrupt. If you eat a lot of rice, pasta, bread, simple carbohydrates, and if you take micro at the same time as all of those simple and even complex carbohydrates, then micro is going to focus on those first. Micro focuses on the easiest, cheapest calories in your body and works on those first. If there are no cheap, simple calories in your body, then it will go to burn those fats. If you eat a bunch of cheap calories, like the whites, like we talk bread, rice, pasta, those things, sugars, then micro is going to work on those first and might not necessarily cause you to lose weight. However, if you don't eat those or eat fewer of those, then the micro in your body is going to look for those simple and complex carbohydrates, not find them, look for something else to burn, and it'll go to the fat. So if you overwhelm it with the carbohydrates and calories, it won't be able to burn off the fat.
That leads me to think that maybe there is a benefit to doing it prior to a meal. Also.
Not a bad idea. Also, that's a very good point because of this reason there.
Right.
If you do take micro before you eat, especially with a full glass of water or two, then your appetite will be suppressed. And you are less likely to want to eat so much. But what I meant was the activity of micro isn't necessarily determined by whether or not there's food in the stomach.
Oh, gotcha. Right, okay. So then my last question is, with the ingredients that we've not been able to access without prescription previously, just for product longevity, how is it possible that you were able to access those?
Very good, very, very good question. I can't tell you.
I didn't think so.
But I will tell you, it's a long-term contractual agreement, exclusive agreement.
Thank you. Readily.
And maybe if you want to sign a non-disclosure agreement, then we could connect you with Doctors Kirkland and Carroll, and they can talk about that with you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I can't give you more. Okay, so let's move on. The last product I wanted to share with you is this. Many of us know that CBX4 works. Many of us also know that micro works. And what we learned here is that also a percentage of you would come up to us and say, I've trimmed down, I've toned up, I feel better, my blood pressure's down, I sleep like a baby nowadays, my pain is gone, I can focus. But what about these lines here? And what about this gray hair? And I've got this baggy, saggy thing here, and I want to be sexy again. Well, at first we didn't really have a good answer, but we put it to the doctors, and they told us that there it is. They told us that if we can find a way to put all of these, not some, but all of these in organic, natural form, in the right ratios, in a singular dispensable serum, then the problem would be solved. Now, of course, if you've used natural products before, you know that putting all 10 of those in one product and have it be able to come out of a dispenser has been, well, up until now, impossible. Never been done before. But neither has CBX4 been done before. So what the docs were able to do is help us create silky smooth. Now the really cool part about this was, even though it helps me keep off my gray hair, especially that patch, guys, you know what I'm talking about, that patch right here, even though it, I need a little bit more, even though it keeps some of that down for me, I also found that micro with silky smooth, I'm not sure what it is about that combination, but micro with silky smooth has enabled me to make my shaving a lot better, because some of the wrinkles and bags I used to have under here have kind of gone away. You know, guys, sometimes you're shaving and that little flap of your skin just gets caught in the razor. Anyhow, so I found that micro and silky together helped me shave in ways that, well, frankly, Makes me not look quite so old. But even better, ladies, guys, put your fingers in yours, ladies. So I asked my wife to start using this about a year ago to shave with. And she shaves, of course, all of her places. And what she loves about it is when she uses the Silky Smooth in all those places that she shaves, all the places, there's no razor burn, and the skin looks younger, feels younger. It's more sensitive, it's more pretty. It's like 10 years younger. How cool is that? Now that's what she tells me. That's what she tells me. So I have to take her word for it.
Is that why you're not recording?
That's
Maybe we should put a list together and put it with the product.
I don't know how else to say it, guys. I'm sorry to say that. But it is the truth.
Can she show us how
And
to
I know a lot of us,
Can she write instructions how to use it?
she could absolutely do that. But you don't even need instructions because using Silky Smooth is as easy as replacing your shave cream. Whatever lotion or potion you use to shave with, use Silky instead. Simple as that. Or you can use it to style your hair, or shave, or whatever you want. But the point is this, if you're looking for some kind of anti-aging benefit, then here it is, Silky Smooth. Oh, I should tell you one quick thing really fast. So you see the scarring benefit there? So after my spleen surgery, my scar goes from here to here. It goes from the top of my sternum down below my belt line. And it goes, thankfully, around my belly button. I told him, Doc, don't cut at my belly button. I don't want to be afraid for the rest of it. So anyhow, but when they cut me open, they used staples to close me back up. Anybody had staples? No? Oh, you have?
My mother had them, they were horrible.
Okay, so you know then, that what happens is, you have this big line, in my case, looked like this, around my belly button. Right? Well, instead of suturing it up, they put these staples.
Yeah, to connect it.
Same thing on my spine, same difference. But if you've ever used a stapler before, you know that those parts right there, that's where the metal goes in. Right? You get the idea. So anyhow, when they pull all those staples out with needle nose pliers, I couldn't believe it. When the nurse came into my room, she straddled me because I'm laying on my back. This nurse comes in and she straddles me like this, and I think, I'm too young for this. I'm not married yet. she pulls out this pair of needle nose pliers and says, think of something happy. Okay, guys are thinking about baseball, football. Boink! What? Anyway, so she used those pliers to pull those out. But anyway, the point is, so what it left me with was all these dots. So I had this line down around my stomach with these dots. It looked like railroad tracks on my stomach. So anyhow, what Silky Smooth did with CBX4, taking CBX4 and using Silky at the same time, has made a huge difference, even though it's been 20 years, is these dots have all but disappeared. They've all but disappeared, and this scar that was really fat and ugly has really faded out. Of course, I don't have the same six-pack as I used to. So, but the point is simply this, that even I found at my age that if you use Silky Smooth on those areas that you want to restore youthfulness to, it's going to help. I'm here to tell you, guaranteed. So let's wrap up by sharing this with you, and we can continue on if you would like to hear more about this. So we know that your natural human compulsion is going to be to share these awesome products with other people. Like in the case of my wife, when she learned that CBX4 was helping our 2 autistic children and my ADHD son, she started telling other people about it. That, and of course, she's not a member of TruIQ, she can be, but that was her natural response, is to tell other people about the good news. So that gave us this idea, let's pay everybody in TruIQ for sharing the good news. But how do we do it? That was the big question. How do we do it? I think most of us have been part of network companies before, direct sales companies before, where the big question is, if I share this with other people, will I get paid? Or are you just going to tell me all these ways by which I cannot get paid? All the hurdles, the percentages, the columns, the rows, these requirements, all that nastiness that the other industry used to use and still even uses today. We thought, let's not use any of that junk. Let's make something new. In fact, let's do this. Let's, instead of all of that hogwash, let's take half of all of the sales, all the pack sales, all the smart chip sales, any sale, let's put half of that into the vault, into the income sharing vault. And then let's find a fun way to redistribute that wealth to all of those people who made those referrals in the first place. And let's take out a bunch of those rules. Let's make it easy and simple. And the way we were able to super simplify it is this. If you're looking to make, or if you would like to make, roughly between $25,000 and $250,000 a month in average income, residual monthly income, then I want to show you 3 steps by which you can accomplish that. 3 very simple, easy steps. The first, in fact, they look like these, 1, 2, 3. Step number 1 is, Mr. Preston, the easy part. Buy your package and set up your monthly smart chip if you want to, or find someone else who wants to have a smart chip as a customer. But the easy, fast way is buy whatever products you want, if you want. It's not necessary, but if you want, buy your package and then set up your monthly delivery that replaces those products that you are going to most likely recommend. Now, once again, this is not necessary, but we do recommend it because if you're going to be out there recommending TruIQ products to 4 people or more, you need to be using that very same product you're recommending. You can't tell people, I love CBX4, it does all these things. You should try it. Their first question is going to be, what did it do for you? Well, you don't want to say, well, I haven't tried it. I don't know. You know where that's going to end up. So the Smart Chip program is really just your means. It's under your control. We don't control this, you do. You get to decide what product you get to use every single month, however much, whenever you want it. Date, delivery, type, kind, it's all under your control. That's step number 1. If you do that, enroll with your package and set up your smart chip, then the second of those 3 steps is refer 4 or more people. Now remember, we're talking about making that $24,901. You can do less than this and earn less than this. I'm just showing you the details of how you can earn that $24,900 as a starting point. Sponsor 4 people. Refer 4 people who buy packages and set up their smart chip as well. And the final step is what we call duplication. And it's, Mr. Preston, as simple as this. If you will help those 4 people you referred into TruIQ to do the same thing, you help 4 people find the glorious, beautiful awesomeness of CBX4. Let's say you have a sister-in-law who has autistic children, and you're giving them CBX4, they're buying CBX4, and their kids are now focusing in school like mine did. They're getting their life back, they feel good, they're not crying all the time. And you have a brother-in-law who's using micro and he's starting to trim down and tone up, and you have a friend down the street who's using collagen 4, whose knee is finally feeling good, and he's walking around the neighborhood again. And you know, the fourth person, maybe your mom, who just simply wants to feel good every day and go to sleep at night when she wants and wake up when she wants with CBX4. If you know just those 4 people, help those 4 people, then help them do the same thing. Find those 4 people in their network who do that, and not only, Mr. Preston, will you earn the $24,900 a month in cash, but you will also earn free cryptocurrency. Now, Mr. Preston spoke about that earlier today, so I'm not going to get into that again. He was so gracious to speak about that before I came in. But, hey, brother. Good to see you. Hey. Welcome. Have a seat. It's good to see you. You're amazing today. Wow. Good to see you, brother. So bright and happy. Wow, that's fantastic. You're using CBX4, aren't you?
Yes.
I can tell. I think we all can tell already, can't we?
Yes.
That is awesome. Welcome. So anyway, coming back to the free cryptocurrency, we want you to know that those very same activities that will pay you the cash is also going to pay you free TrueCoin. What is TrueCoin? It's a new kind of cryptocurrency that, can you turn the light on for me, please? It's a new kind of cryptocurrency that leverages the most important aspects of health and wealth today. Here's what I mean. May I see by a raise of hands, who here knows anything about cryptocurrency? Dr. Taylor, you've heard about it? You have this? Have you heard about crypto before?
Coinbase.
So we have. Okay, great. A couple of us. Coinbase, got it. I'm sorry about those fees. They're getting higher, aren't they?
They are.
All right. So what I wanted to share with you is this. There is this really wonderful thing called TruIQ. We just spent half an hour talking about these amazing products. The plantation that we grow CBX4 at is a real farm. You can come see it anytime. The company is real, in America, licensed, legal, selling product every single day, paying commissions every single day. That's a real American, awesome business. Up until now, there's been a big line between companies like that and cryptocurrencies. You see, up until now, cryptocurrencies have existed in their own sphere. If you want to be part of cryptocurrency, you have to be off the grid. You have to be behind the China wall. You have to be away from everything, so no one can find you. But the challenge with that is, if you're away from reality, if you're only playing here in the cryptocurrency world, you're not taking advantage of, you're not allowing the most important feature of the world today to affect the value of your cryptocurrency, which is people buying what they want every single day. There's this natural human nature to buy those things and share those things that we want to love and use. Well, that's what TruIQ is. But there's never been a bridge between the two. A real company in America anyway, that has real sales, who also says, let's leverage all of the blockchain technologies, write 4 patented new smart contracts, and create a new way for the masses, which means everyone, to benefit from both. Which means, if you want to profit from the most exciting new cryptocurrency in the world, only, you can. Or if you want to be a member of TruIQ and use all of these amazing products yourself, you can. But if you want both, simply become a member of TruIQ. Members of TruIQ are automatically given both benefits at the same time for doing the same things. When you enroll, when you sponsor, when you build a team, when you come here tonight, you're making cash, you're earning money. And those things also can reward you true points. Next slide, please. This right here is something I'd like to draw your attention to. For those of you who understand cryptocurrency, just as kind of a sort of a baseline. If you were part of the cryptocurrency movement, say 10 years ago, this is what you were offered. Now, Dogecoin, of course, is not 10 years old, but just kind of bear with me here because this is for representation purposes only. When these cryptocurrencies initially launched, they were evaluated at roughly those dollar values. And today, after just 10 years or even less, are valued at what you see there. I show that to you only to illustrate that when you receive TrueCoin, even if it's only valued at 15 cents, which will happen after the third catch, I think fourth catch, essentially from the beginning, if you're early, then over the next decade or so, it'll be worth nearly $1 million if it follows our projections. And if it follows those same lines as those minimum. So the question is, how can you profit from that without investment and without risk? And that's what you have to understand here. No investment, no risk necessary. You can receive these without buying a single TrueCoin and without worrying about whether or not you're going to have to be liable for anything. Free. No cost at all. But the upside is what I showed you. Now the way we're able to do that is first of the foundation. This is really key. This is how and why we can give you benefits of TrueCoin without risk and without investment. You see those? Are you reading those? I hope. Can I trouble someone to read those, please? Yes, Armin.
Intrinsic value,
Intrinsic value.
proof of activity blockchain, USA product-based company, wallet and exchange, not 100% speculative.
Yes, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. Now, the top part where it says intrinsic value is what's most important because all other cryptocurrencies are speculative. In TruIQ, because we've made this bridge that connects real products, American-made products, with an American-issued cryptocurrency together, all produced by your activity, next slide please, members' activities, that is what drives up its value, and that's why you can receive it without risk and without investment. Here's how you can receive a reward for your activities. Each time you do any of these things, TruIQ is going to award you with a certain number of true points. These true points will determine how many of those free true coins you get every single time we mint a new batch or a new block of coin. And it comes down to what you see here. Now, that list looks very similar, doesn't it? Remember the 3 steps?
Yes.
Enroll with a pack, set up your smart chip, duplicate, meaning sponsor 4 people, and then duplicate. That's what this is. But each one of these is written into our off-chain that automatically calculates a certain number of true points and will feed into the blockchain to reward TrueCoin. Those of you who came to the training earlier today, you saw just how amazing and powerful the whole TrueCoin mechanism is. If you're a guest here today, simply know, next slide, that TrueCoin is, next slide, going to be rewarded with cash and crypto. Next slide. So let's end here. Turn the light back on, please, if you don't mind. If you happen to be interested in receiving free cryptocurrency, if you also happen to be wanting to earn some free cash, about $25,000 to $250,000 a month, and if you also happen to want to benefit your, or more, hopefully more importantly, your friends and family's lives with our products, then you found the solution. And today we have a really awesome solution. In fact, Mr. Preston, go back. I don't want to talk about this.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, let's invite a couple of our friends up here to share how has your experience been in TruIQ. You've used TruIQ products before. Have they helped you? And if so, how? Can I invite just 3 people to come share really quickly how TruIQ products have helped you? Keep it under 1 minute each. 1 minute. 3 of you, 1 minute. And let's hear from you how TruIQ, either product or income sharing program, or even the TrueCoin has helped you benefit in your life. So let's start with, go ahead.
Emily.
Start with
My
Emily.
name is Emily. I tried the product.
Yeah, speak loud so everyone
Okay.
can hear.
I thought it was loud. Okay, good. Yeah, my name is Emily. I just tried the product 3 or 3.5 weeks ago, around there. When I came in, I was in a lot of pain because I was in a car accident December 10, and I had a very severe pinched nerves in my body. My lower back, my middle back, my spine, my neck, all the way to my neck, and all the way to my feet. Like, it was difficult for me to move around for a while. And then my body started to feel weak. And so I'm just now beginning. But the whole thing is that when I came here, I was in a lot of pain. And I got a massage from Roma. And so I went ahead, after the massage, I went ahead and go, I'm going to invest by the package, the family pack. And when I got home that night, the next day, I said, I feel better. And she was, did you try the oil yet? And I said, no, I'm scared. But I went ahead and listened to her, I tried the oil, and it actually done a lot for me. It helped me with my nerves. It also, I forgot about the trauma that I was experiencing from the accident, because when I hear noise, even when I'm driving, and I was still afraid to get out of the house to drive. And my hands was hard to, like, it was difficult for me to pull the steering wheel. And so it was not easy. Because from me being such a athletic, strong woman, small woman, to me feeling weak. And but in the last, since then, since I've taken the product, the CBS4, and I have used all of them actually, all 4. It really helped me. My skin also got better. My hair. Today I have coconut milk treatments, honestly. But it helped from also when my hair is tangled and my skin. I just realized that when I got out of the shower, my skin is like, the water is kind of just, it's like oily. Your skin is oily. It's not so dry. And I was like, wow, this is actually really something really more than what I expected. But most of all, I feel great. And I don't feel, I can wear heels. Can you believe that? And like, I know some of you have seen me the very first time my cane.
Yeah, you
But
look
thank
good.
you for letting me share. Thank you so much.
Doc dito.
Let's keep it to 1 minute, that's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
I'm Dave Frank. I was watching Patriots and it was Marvel, Star Wars, and DC. I was only to watch Disney movies. If I can still be always here. Yeah, I thank you for sharing with us. Have a great day.
Nice job.
I
That's
take
amazing.
CBS forward to emerging variants for all day, for all week.
You need to stand in front of a room, are you kidding me? That's like,
Hi, my name is Lito. I've been a member of TruIQ for almost 5 months. At first, I was very skeptical about the product, but when I use it, it's really great. Last time that I used the collagen, super infused collagen, was when I got pain in my right shoulder. I said, oh my God, this is arthritis. It's gouty arthritis, definitely, because I ate food that is not allowed to be, like nuts. So I said, I cannot even touch the steering wheel. I cannot, because it's painful. I cannot even raise my arm. I said, okay, I know that collagen is good for inflammation. So I said, okay, I'll use that. When I go to bed, I said, I cannot move, because if I move, the pain is there, right? You cannot move. So I have one single position. So I have to use this because this one is good, but this is painful. So every time I move, it pains me. But I believe this product. If not, I will go to my doctor, get Pianol, get anti-inflammatory, get pain, and I remove all those things. You know, this product treats the cause and not the symptom.
Indeed. Well said. You're amongst friends.
My name is Lucy Aquileta, and I suffered from bulging disc in my back because I fell in the driveway when the car was moving. My other foot was inside the car, and my other foot was outside. So my husband was driving backwards, so my leg was is inside the car, and the other one is outside. So I fell in the driveway. So I suffered from a bulging disc and my MRI, and also sciatica on my legs, and pinch nerves. I tried so many things. I went to chiropractor several times. I went to pain management. I went to acupuncture. I tried everything. I went to holistic health, where they put magnetic things in my back. That's like electric current in my back. And then I also tried they put something in my back, and then you adjust it to make the pain go away. But yes, but it didn't help. I tried gabapentin, ibuprofen, all kinds of medicine, all kinds of ointments. It didn't help. So, but now that my husband passed away, I'm living by myself, and I'm so scared that I won't do my things, inside the house. So one day my friend Glory gave me a call and said, I have something for you, do you want to try it? I said, what? So he said, just I'll give it to you, and then you try it, see if your pain will go away. So I tried it. She gave me the CDX4, and I tried it for couple of weeks. And then I noticed that my pain are diminishing and I could walk up the stairs.
Oh, wow.
I could do my laundry now upstairs because my laundry room is upstairs. And I could do everything in the house.
Thank you so much for sharing.
So I don't go to all the doctors that I've been to.
The doctor will get mad at you.
So I don't go there and go to their,
Thank you for sharing.
I canceled all my appointments.
Oh,
You find your doctor.
Medicine for,
Oh.
except my vitamins and CBX4.
That's clear. What an amazing story from the people who use our product, right? I'll give you some of these paperwork. Can you please read that? Can you please read that one there? I went to the Philippines for 2 months. But before that, I used CBX4. We know if you go to the third country, they always check you. And I never had any vaccination at all. Until now, I don't have any vaccination at all. But because of the CBX4, all, if you can see that one right there in the paperwork, all of it says not detected or negative from virus or SARS or something like that. You can see that. I have about like 6 or 8 of this, but some of them are in my email. That is why I don't have it. But once you use this, especially now, this time, it's a pandemic time. Excuse me, pandemic, I'm sorry. Pandemic time. But look, if we use this, a lot of people are worried about what's going on right now in the world. Even you have those vaccination, I highly recommend that take this, use this, because this one will help and it works. It works. You just have to try it, because once you try it, it works. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, my friends, for sharing. I think we ought to probably wrap up unless there are no other questions. No questions? Then, if you don't mind, can you turn that light on for me really quick, or the projector?
How about
I have just one last thing to share. Oh,
Great
yes.
job.
Oh, yeah. Always. Always.
So, this is a special day for us, for me, for reasons I explained. Not that I was expecting, but I feel it's a special day, not expecting, but it is what it is. But more importantly, yesterday we drove down here from Utah, from CBX4, to be here to share this information with you. And we thought, for those of you who decided to come here, take the time out of your day on a Saturday to come listen to this. We owe you something. And so what we want to tell you is, we've made a special pack for today only of 12 CBX4s, the sublingual concentrate, and 2 of the silky smooth. Now the retail value of this is, who remembers doing the numbers on this? I think it was about $1,500. The retail on this is $1,500. Well, we're selling it for today only $9.50, but I also want to tell you that we want to give you this as well. We found that there were a couple of essential oil blends that could supercharge the TruIQ products, 2 of which are OxyShield. It's a powerful antioxidant that ravages the free radicals, and ImmuGuard, that boosts the immune function that CBX4 will give you. Plus, we also want to give you a free micro. This is about $150 at member price. We want to give you all of this together tonight instead of $1,900 for only $950.
Yeah.
Also, whoever purchases this pack today will receive 1,000 TrueCoins, and your sponsor will earn 2,000 TrueCoins. So don't leave without these. Okay, my friends, so let's wrap up there. If there's nothing else to discuss, Mr. Preston and I, we're going to stick around. We'd love to maybe hobnob with you a little bit more, answer some of your more intimate questions. Just know that, like I said, I've had all kinds of health issues, so don't be embarrassed to talk with me about your health problems. I have 2 autistic children, 1 ADHD child, a wife who also have lots of problems, all of which CVX4 and TruIQ works for. So if you have questions about how our products might help you, feel free to come talk with me. I can probably relate, but more importantly, I have your answer.
Thank you very much for coming, guys. Proud to say it. Oh, we have
Yes.
some, back.
Here's the leader's pack. And here is the free funds. Okay, thank you.